Tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota ngandani. Ayo lengos, city lengos.
What is man? Let's start first by defining what man is not. Listen, man is not his masculinity. Man is not being handsome. Man is not wearing expensive labels of another man. Man is not being muscled. Man is not having an enlarged dick, because these attributes to some extent are biologically influenced. We need to understand that man is not his job. Man is not his title. A man is not his position. A man is not his money. A man is not the list of women you have. A man is not the material things you possess. A man is not all those things that we have defined man to be. Man is not what women or society have made you to believe that you are. My attempt to answer this question has brought about many answers. For the moment, let us turn to this significant question and see what we can do in terms of attempting to answer. What is man? I believe that the simplest way to define a man is by using the Oxford Dictionary. According to the dictionary, it says a man is an adult human being, basic and period. He is spirit and he is flesh that contains the mind and emotions, and he also has needs. A man is an intellectual being with the ability to think rationally and make decisions and choices. A man is a person and is therefore capable of making moral choices. A man is a free, creative being capable of facing responsibilities. A man is a spiritual being with a need to believe and have faith. A man is a sperm carrier, which simply means he is also a sexual being with sexual needs and responsible for reproduction. A man is a material being. This is somewhat obvious, but nevertheless it should be stressed. Like all animals, man is dependent on his environment for food, raiment, and shelter. Attached to that are the roles man has to play in his family and in the society. Previously, manhood was defined by what a man can do for his wife, his children, and society, but not by the quality of their character. So long as you can provide, then you are a man. Our parents needed each other for survival. Unfortunately, we only need each other for romance. Nothing else. Previously, roles were determined by biology. A girl couldn't wear trousers. A girl couldn't play with boys. A girl couldn't drink alcohol, nor smoke cigarette. Stand up to boys. Boys can't play with dolls. Girls should be home, but boys should be boys. Things have been distorted now. Unfortunately, the society defines a man in what is believed to be true to traditions, culture, religion, and political views, whereas some of these beliefs may differ from person to person, culture to culture, religion to religion, and country to country. Like every human being, every man is a victim to their environment and their circumstances. Too much is being expected from a man with less or no support and admiration at all. Too much has been done to men who are also struggling with the change, and unfortunately, no one seems to recognize how this change has affected men. Religious, political, and cultural definitions of men are cohesive towards man. With the dawn of democracy came a lot of changes to the way people used to live and behave. Equality and rights have become the topic of the day. We began to hear more about abuse, rape, violence against women and children. With the affirmative action was the loss of jobs. Criminal activities intensified by men. Women are becoming independent, and the great question today is with if they should marry or not. Is there a need for a man? It's a question that women have. Working class women don't want men earning less than their salary, while those unemployed and earning less do not want an unemployed man. A number of our country women are throwing themselves to foreign men with lots of money. Statistics of children grown without father figure is increasing daily. A number of men filing for divorce is growing. Millions of our male men have become the stay-home fathers. Some are reliant to the recent government grants, while others start their small businesses with the hope for survival. A lot of these businesses die even within a period of 3 to 5 years. Coming from poor background and now having access to opportunity, the very men began to be greed and corruption increased. Violence became the order of the day. A lot of killings is taking place. Prisons are full of men when universities are seeing a steady decrease in a number of young men going to universities. Substance abuse has become the game of the day. We hear of disturbing news relating to a number of men behaving in an evil way. They have brutally murdered, raped and violated women and children, even bullied some of their fellow men. GBV cases are leading in crime statistics and have increased rapidly during COVID-19. The main question has always been, what is man? If men can behave in such a way towards their fellow human beings, then what is man? When some men are asked of such behavior, some have said, we will not be undermined by women and children. We do not care what the law says. We are the heads of the family. We are the providers. Governments have failed us. Biggest struggle man is facing is, what should we do now to be appreciated? What shall I do to make them happy? Men don't feel appreciated and needed, which is why they prefer to go to places where they feel appreciated and needed. I'm talking about taverns, strip clubs, sex clubs, soccer games, and so on. We have no jobs and therefore cannot provide and protect as men anymore. We are stripped off. Their traditional roles that used to define men is no longer useful to keep the women and children. One of the challenges in society is this: children grow without father figures. Children are raised by women alone. Some of these women raising these kids also were raised without father figures. Some of them male men were raised by single mothers. Our society is filled with anger, bitterness, and hateful people towards men. Hence the slogan, men are trash. Men don't know if women and children need them anymore. That's why men complain today that I say one word, she says 2, 3, and 4. Most men live in fear that the women will leave you and never even miss you, which is why some men feel good to pay for sex, pay sex workers, because they feel at least there's still someone who will still need me and my little money. Our parents wanted a man to help them provide with all the necessities. Today women want nothing from you except romance in a highly competitive way. Somebody else can do it better. She wants conversation. She wants intimacy. She wants affection. She wants companionship. But unfortunately, we men are not trained in these things. We are trained to be the head. We are trained to be the provider. We are trained to be the protector. She has a PhD and you only have a matric certificate or even a birth certificate. She doesn't want a marriage but wants an arrangement out of community of property and such arrangements. She basically doesn't really need you but actually tolerates you. The question remains, what is man? One of the biggest mistakes men make is getting your manhood from roles and rules defined by another man. Because of historical conversion, listen, people change, rules change, definitions change. Therefore, this is a reason we are so confused today. Men are confused. We do not know what is to be man anymore. Biggest man's challenge is with identity. Who am I? Some men finds identity in material things, clothes, cars, the houses they live in, areas they come from, the group they associate with, the kind of alcohol they take, the kind of clubs they go to, etc. And the great question remains, what is man? Are not men being abused? Are not men being suppressed? Why is one man's sin covering all men as a blanket? They say all men are trash. Then what is the solution? Number one, men, we need to understand the times. The sooner we accept the change, the better. As they always say, change is good. Living in denial and being resilient to change may only lead to more problems. Realize those things that doesn't really make you a man. Those titles, that education, that job, that material things, and so on. Realize those things that doesn't make you a man. Be your brother's keeper. Stop judging, fighting, backstabbing each other as men and think you are better than the other men. Do not allow people to confuse us as men. Let's not boast to one another, but let's appreciate and support one another. Number 4, set a better trend for the next generation. Think about the next generation. Number 5, avoid temptations to try and compete or please a woman. Be happy for their success and celebrate with them. Number 6, men need to have their meetings where we will discuss and share ideas in how to healthy respond to this change. Last but not least, read, study, grow yourself educationally. And that is the only way we can be able to survive. And with that being said, the world has changed. Times have changed. The situation is as it is currently. Therefore, we need to learn and prepare ourselves to deal with the change. Take the change positive and be as positive as possible. Do not despair. God is still on the throne and we can still make it. It's not yet over. God bless you.